We have Aruna Patam. Let me introduce her. Aruna Patam heads AI and data science practice at HCL Technologies for Asia Pacific and Middle East region based at Sydney. She has spent the last 21 plus years delivering decision support systems using artificial intelligence and machine learning. She holds a Master of Data Science and MBA. Her current focus is on how to use AI and data science at scale to solve business challenges. Apart from this, other areas she is highly passionate about are women in AI ethics, responsible AI, and how AI is helping organizations meet ESG expectations. Please welcome Aruna Patam. Hi, Aruna.
Hi, Tulsi. Hello, everyone. That was a great introduction. Thanks, Tulsi. Thanks again for inviting me to this conference. I'm really honored to be part of this great lineup of speakers that you've got. And hello to everyone. Now, the topic of my presentation today is role of ML ops in AI. Now we are facing an interesting era of artificial intelligence and machine learning. We have, with AI helping us to make better decisions, to enable us to work smarter. However, when we move from theory to practice, there is a lot of questions that needs to be answered, such as how do we scale AI? How do we build a better, ethical and a trusted AI system that's going to be fair for all? So that is the topic that I'm going to be covering today. You will see a little bit of alignment to what Tulsi was saying. Hopefully it will be more on the lens of how ML Ops is actually going to help in addressing some of the requirements and challenges which Tulsi just went through in detail. So hopefully there is a bit of alignment there. So in order to explain this concept of how MLOps can help in scale and build an ethical and trusted AI, I just wanted to use a business use case to help iterate the concept. So let's look at credit risk management in banking. This is a space I've got many years of experience having developed and implemented models for the financial services sector. So what is credit risk? Credit risk is a probability of someone defaulting on a loan or does not comply with the obligations that he entered into an agreement. Now, credit risk is an important function for banking, and you cannot completely eliminate credit risk, but of course we can put some mitigation in place to address the some of the challenges with credit risk. Now the scope of the presentation now is going to be, I'm going to be covering some of the AI and machine learning use cases for credit risk management. What are some of the challenges we are facing in the machine learning models and as well deployment, and how MLOps is helping us to mitigate those challenges and scale. Quickly about the credit management stages. So when a consumer applies for a loan, banks has to make a decision whether to approve the loan or not. So banks usually use a credit scoring model to help them make this decision. Credit scoring is an important decision support system which uses credit scoring models to determine the credit worthiness of the applicant, and tells the bank whether he will be able to pay the loan or not. And this credit scoring models are built depending upon what stage it is in. During the assessment phase, credit scoring is built using the data, basic minimum data, so that we can quickly assess if the applicant meets the minimum requirements. Otherwise we can disapprove it or reject it. Then during the loan approval phase, we build the credit scoring models by using all the available information about the applicant so that we can make a precise decision whether we can approve the loan or not. And subsequently, during the monitoring phase, we use credit scoring models to understand the health of the credit portfolio, how is it performing. So all of this is the end-to-end process where how credit risk scoring models are being used. Now, have a look at some of the AI use cases and machine learning use cases in credit risk management in banking. We are using machine learning models to forecast the expected loss that the bank might incur. We are using it for early warning signals. If we wanted to know if there are any delinquencies in the accounts or the payments or in the customer, we wanted to know about those very earlier on before the actual default happens. So it helps. We are having machine learning models to provide those early warning signals for us. Anomaly detection is another area where we wanted to identify any abnormal behaviors of the customer or even the payments that they are making. And of course, in the credit scorecard, we wanted to assess the initial applications, screen them, whether they're compliant with all the requirements, and also to identify the health of the credit portfolio that we are managing. So these are some of the typical use cases where machine learning has been used. And of course, there are going to be some challenges. The AI and the machine learning models. We have challenges in building those models as well as for implementing those models in production. So some high-level challenges. The first is the bias. There's many types of biases, but the two important biases I want to highlight is the data bias and the algorithm bias. So data bias, it happens when you're using the historical data to build a model to predict an outcome. And that historical data, if it have bias, for example, traditionally, the loans, the accreditation data has got bias towards, a minority, for particular minorities or women. If we've seen the loans are being rejected in those minority groups, then those bias will get propagated into the AI system, and then you will get the similar outcomes again. So that's the data bias. We need to make sure we have diverse data when we are predicting the defaulting of a loan or not. Algorithmic bias. This is a bias that can happen when the individuals or the developers who are actually building the system, they can introduce bias consciously, unconsciously, if you don't have the diverse skill sets in the team. So that's why I emphasize on diversity, women in those jobs, as well as other minority groups as well. So you need to have diverse people to build AI system without any bias. And then the next important thing, challenge, is the algorithm and the black box. These days there are more and more sophisticated algorithms are being developed, which the financial services industries are exploring, and of course they are giving us a better prediction as well, more accuracy. However, these models are quite complex in nature. It's very hard to understand why a certain outcome was made, because it's a black box. It's complex to understand. So that's another challenge. How do you trust an outcome if you don't know how it was made? One of the other major challenge is the operationalization of the models. So it's often seen that more than 80% of the models which are in the experimental phase does not go into production and deployed because of the various challenges we face when we deploy models into production. I wanted to go a little bit into the operational challenges that we have, which is quite important for machine learning. As more and more models are being developed, we need to have a robust system to deploy and maintain. So some of the challenges we see is around the deployment. So data scientists, they build the models, test it, validate it, it's all good, and they hand it over to the deployment team. And due to lack of proper handover and knowledge transfer, you might introduce errors or delays in the deployment. The other challenge is data changes. So In machine learning, the models change with change in algorithmic code, the data changes, and hyperparameter changes. While the algorithmic code and hyperparameter changes are within the control of the developers, the data change is not. So we need to make sure we have similar versioning as we have for code. The other aspect that we need to take into account is the iterative nature. So machine learning models are quite experimental and iterative in nature. They do a lot of parameter tuning and feature engineering. The ML pipelines that are used, they actually use the algorithmic code and the data and hyperparameters. If any of these changes, then you have to redo the experiment and then recalculate the metrics. Testing. Machine learning needs to undergo a lot of testing. We need to test to make sure data quality is there, pre-processing validation, data validation, algorithmic validation, algorithmic fairness, etc. We need to make sure all of those different testings are being carried out. Security is another challenge. So often we see that machine learning models, they become a part of a bigger system, and the outputs are actually being fed into other applications to make decisions, and which we may or may not know that might lead to security challenges. Monitoring is another key aspect where we need to continuously monitor the models after you have deployed to make sure that the model is behaving how it meant to. The outcomes are the same even with the new set of data that is coming through every day, as well as make sure that the models have not deteriorated over time. So continuous monitoring is very important. Infrastructure, again, that plays a very key role. With the more sophisticated algorithms are being built, we need to have the ability to scale and also have the compute power, which takes us to complex infrastructure requirement. So for example, when you're experimentation, you want to have the GPU, and then when you're going to deployment in production, you want to be able to scale dynamically. Collaboration. So often we have seen that a machine learning model is part of the last stages of the project lifecycle. Often the developers are in silo building those models, and the other team members, for them it's a black box, and with not proper feedback and collaboration, it might lead to a lot of issues. So these are some of the operational challenges that machine learning models face. With more and more machine learning models we are putting into the system, we need to be able to manage these challenges better. This is where we see MLOps playing a very important role. MLOps has become a key field in AI, and it's becoming more and more popular these days. Many people are talking about it. Now, before getting into the MLOps, I just wanted to give a very high level view on what are various ops terminologies that sits there and how they differ from MLOps. They are not MLOps. So there is DevOps, which they focus around the building and maintaining the infrastructure. You have IT ops, that's around the system and network administration. Security ops is about the security of the IT systems, the data centers, and the cloud infrastructures that we have. AI ops is about using AI to automate the IT operations, incident management, resolutions, so on and so forth. Data ops, as its name suggests, it's about managing the end-to-end data management lifecycle. And ML ops, this is the fusion of machine learning, data engineering, and the operations that is required for the smooth deployment and monitoring of the models. Just quickly looking at what is MLOps. MLOps, to me, is a framework. It is the integration of people, processes, practices, and technologies so that we are able to deploy and monitor the machine learning models in production and ensure they're actually delivering the outcome they're meant to do, and also make sure they're scalable, fully governed, and provides business value. So it's the end-to-end framework which makes the MLOps very important. It covers all different aspects, frameworks, the practices, and the procedures we need to have in place. As I said, it's a fusion of machine learning, one case, data engineering, and operationalization of projects in production. So why ML ops is important? To definitely to address some of the challenges that I've previously addressed. The key three things that I wanted to highlight is mitigating risk. When you deploy models into production, there are some risk associated, and we want to make sure we mitigate them. Enterprise scaling, financial firms and almost all businesses are moving from tens and hundreds of models to thousands of models. So how do we scale these models and still ensure that it is doing their producing the right outcome? And responsible AI. This aspect Tulsi really covered it very well, and ML Ops actually helps by providing the frameworks, policies, and procedures to help with the responsible AI as well. Just quickly looking at three areas where MLOps is helping. One is the mitigating risk. So this is about performance monitoring and adjusting as and when needed in the machine learning models that are in production, so that they don't have any adverse business impact. Some of the risk that might be in the models when it's in production is it may not be available for a certain period of time due to system outage, downtime, whatever may the issue, or model due to the type of data that has been coming into the models. It can provide bad prediction. We need to make sure that's not the case. As time goes, with the accuracy and fairness of the models, there is a potential to decrease as well. And also, do we have the right skill sets necessary to be able to monitor these models, refine the models, and address any risks associated with the models? So these are some of the risk areas that we need to assess and make sure we address them. And also, when we are doing the risk, there are three main areas where you need to assess the risk based on the usage of the models, whether you are using it just to as a playpen or a sandpit environment to do experimentation, or you are actually deploying the models into production. So they're actually making some decision like approving the loans and stuff. Based on the usage, you might want to have controls and governance in place, the operational process in place to address that. Risk-based approach. So what is the probability of an event occurring, and how is the impact? So based on that, you might want to tighten your governance processes and operationalization process and regulations, which is another important thing. So there's a lot of, especially in the banking sector, it is highly governed and regulated by APRA. So we need to make sure any compliance that we need to have, those also are addressed when we are operationalizing the models. Enterprise scaling, as I mentioned, so these days organizations are moving from handful of models in production to tens and thousands of models, and which all have a positive impact. In order for us to have a positive impact on the business, we need to make sure we have a MLOps discipline in place. We need to be able to have the environment to scale, the ability to use model in production with high scale data, large volumes of data, as well as be able to train more and more number of models. Even if there are thousands of models, we still need to be able to train them and ensure they're actually predicting the right outcome that was meant to. So how MLOps helps, with auto scaling, we have the frameworks and process in place, the teams in place, which can help with auto scaling capabilities. Keep track of the versioning when the number of models increases and more and more models are moving from experimentation phase to design to implementation, as well as when you're doing experiments in the design phase. So understand whether the retained models are better than the previous version. So you might want to continuously refine your models and compare your models in production to that what you have refined, and and make sure that you actually deploy the new models if you are performing better, and ensure that the model performance is not degraded in production, which we have seen before. So enterprise scaling is another key factor for machine learning in large scale, and MLOps has got frameworks and structures in place to that. The other important aspect which ML Ops really helps is in the responsible AI. I wouldn't go into the details of it. I guess Tulsi has really covered it very well. But two things I wanted to highlight. It is about building an ethical and a trustworthy AI system. So it not only brings the business outcome, but also it is ethical and it is it can be trusted. The two key pillars I see from an which I mentioned, the ethical side of it and the trust side of the AI. Again, Tulsi really did it well. I'm just going to skim those due to the challenge with the time as well we have. So ethical AI is around accountability. Who is accountable? The people who are building the models should be accountable for the models. Do we have an ethical committee? Do we have a centralized team who ensures that who is building the model, who is making the changes, if any adverse effects, who is accountable for those? Inclusiveness, which I've covered already, diversity in the data, diversity in the people who are building those algorithms. Inclusiveness is very important. Reliability and safety, have we done enough testing? Can the models run in production? Have we got the security measures in place? All of this stuff need to be taken into account. And again, MLOps really has got the process to help here. Trusted AI, that's around fairness. Are we excluding a particular community, gender-based, or gender or community or race, so on, so transparency. Everybody should know how the model has been built, what data has been used, how the outcome has been derived. We are able to explain the outcome to the people to whom the decision is being used, and privacy and security. We need to make sure we comply with the company's security standards, the regulations put forth by the regulation authorities, and also individual personal identifiable informations are being protected while we are using those data. Just on final couple of slides. So how is MLOps is enabling trusted and ethical AI? So as as it said here, teams must have a good MLOps principles to practice responsible AI, and also responsible AI actually dictates a proper MLOps strategies to be in place. So they are going hand in hand, they complement each other. Responsible AI says this is what we need to take into account, and MLOps has got the right frameworks, principles, policies, and standards. And it looks at the end-to-end model lifecycle, starting from establishing the business objectives to deploying the models in production and tuning the models. So you got the end-to-end framework. MLOps helps enable that. And just a final note is, yes, we have all the processes in place, we have technologies in place, but at the end, it's the people that need to be, given more emphasis. So organizations need to train the people on the knowledge of AI, on responsible AI, what is the do's and don'ts, helping them, training them in the right tools and technologies and frameworks and models.